YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Big Beard B, and we are back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today we have a first impression of a legendary fragrance, sort of. This one here is a reinterpretation, a flanker of the legendary Tom Ford Noir Extreme, and this one is Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. Now, Tom Ford is the master of seduction, Mr. Tom 44, so we are looking to see what you have here today. Now, the articles and write-up said that this one is a bold intensification of the original, and the original has grown to be one of those fragrances that we talk a lot about in terms of date nights, sexiness, sophistication, etc. And I tend to call Tom Ford the master of seduction, so let's see what we have. Now, I've opened this thing up. I've had this for about 3 weeks now, but I got sick. Been traveling back and forth between Texas and Tennessee, the double T, and now I get to share this experience with you. Originally, I was going to do a first impression, then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a week of wearing this fragrance, and I never opened it. I got sick, etc. So here we go. Ooh. Presentation is pretty nice here, all gold. Kind of reminds me of that Dolce & Gabbana fragrance that they did a little while ago. But, you know, it's different. It's different. All right. Now, the original Tom Ford Noir Extreme was really spicy, cardamom, and it kind of went along the lines of Victor Royal Spice Bomb. This is one of the areas that you would put that fragrance in. But with this fragrance here, what do we get? Okay, this is good. I'm getting some leather here, or what I'm interpreting as leather, but it's probably a huge burst of spice. Yeah, that's what it's turning into now. A huge burst of spice, cardamom, black pepper. I feel like there's tobacco within the scent. Oh, this is dope. Fire! This thing is dope here. So listen, now that's just the first impression, but when I think about the original, this one does play along the lines of the original, but as it says, it's more bold, more intense, and it amplifies some of the notes that we get there. Now, the original has that cardamom there. You have some, I think there's some vanilla within that fragrance as well. But this one here really takes all the things that I've come to love and enjoy about the original and combines them in a way that I didn't think was necessary until we smelled it. And I think that this is the way that fragrance flankers should be done, where you take something that's working within a fragrance and surprisingly amplify them and change them to something that's completely different yet the same. The tiebacks to the original within this fragrance are there, and this fragrance does smell sophisticated. It still has that sensuality to it, but it's also refined, more refined than the original. It has this upper echelon feel to it, which I really do enjoy. Now, what I'll tell you about this scent is I did buy this fragrance with another fragrance that I'll be dropping a first impressions on, and I thought, one of those fragrances are more expensive than they would traditionally be. Yep, and it was this one. This one was $205 plus tax, and that is quite expensive for a designer scent. And when you're going into a Macy's and a Dillard's, you know, Elixir was kind of the top tier when you talked about fragrances that were within that space, that were made for that space. And essentially what I mean is, when I talk about the private blends, I don't really feel that those were made to be within your standard big box retailers like a Dillard's, a Macy's, etc., unless you were in a poppin' market. More so, those fragrances to me would fit more so in the Neiman's, a Nordstrom's, etc., based on the price point and average ticket cost. But they are getting more and more expensive, and this to me is $205 well spent. Now, in addition to that bold, spicy feel that we get with this fragrance, there's some warmth. There's also an air of freshness that comes along here, almost fruity, but not fruity at all. I don't want you to think that this is going to be a fruity scent, but I do get something that's fresh and slightly fruity within the middle phase of this section. All in all, on first impressions on this fragrance, it's one that I am super excited to wear. I feel that you could dress this one up in the office, and you can dress this one down for a date night for that refined, sexy, sensual feel. The woods are present within this fragrance. There is, again, a burst of spice here, which lasts throughout the entire life of this fragrance of what I'm getting thus far, and it's a fragrance that I'm going to be super excited to wear this fall and winter. And yes, I say this fall and winter because I do believe, like the original, this one does lean more toward that fall and winter feel, so I think that this is going to be one of those top tier scents. I still think there's a place for the original, but if you prefer things to be amped up to the maximum, then this is one of those ones that you should wear. I didn't know what to expect with this fragrance because when I think of one of the Tom Ford fragrances that I love, Tom Ford Tuscan Leather, when it came out with Tom Ford Tuscan Leather Intense, I thought it was going to be one that I was drooling over, but not so much. So this scent here, top tier scent, Tom Ford. You did a great job with this scent. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this fragrance down below. In terms of longevity, projection, performance, we'll get to that in the official review. But when it comes down to the first impression, I think that this fragrance is dope and well worth the money. That's all I got for you today. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn